Alright, so here we are at our 2024 Toyota Tamworth Country Music Festival Lounges Plus Live Lounge, and this morning I have someone who is an 8-time Golden Guitar winner, 4-time CMC Award winner, and this year he is nominated for Single of the Year, Vocal Collaboration of the Year, Male Artist of the Year, Song of the Year, Contemporary Country Album of the Year, and Toyota Album of the Year. It's Travis Collins.
Thank you so much.
How are you?
I'm good. It doesn't sound like real when you read them out like that.
I know.
It's phenomenal.
But
you know, that's like 10 years of work compressed into like one paragraph.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
When you read it.
Well, you've been in the game for 20 years.
I know, I know.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel that as well, and other times I feel like I just started.
Yeah.
So it's it's a crazy thing. Longevity is probably the one thing I'm most proud of. People ask what my career highlight, and I say the fact that I'm still here.
Yeah.
Longevity, I think, is let's normalize that as a career highlight.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just love it more than ever. Ready to take on our biggest year ever, and just excited to be here at all, let alone still be here.
Yeah, well, I mean, what a way to start the year.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Like 6 nominations, I think it was, if I counted.
Yeah.
And so what do you think it is about your work this past year that's made it stand out and get so much recognition?
I don't know, and this is going to sound a little bit hillbilly, but I don't want to know, because I think if you start to understand what it is, or at least you think you know what it is, then you're trying to emulate that again and again and again. Whereas I think what I try to do is approach every album as organically as possible, and just make sure it's a good record of where I'm at that time in life, and the songs are reflecting what's happening around me.
Yeah.
I think if I had like don't get me wrong, I'd love a big super hit.
Yeah.
But sometimes I guess that can be a trap as well, where a lot of people just do that and then they try and do that again and again and again, and you're kind of chasing your tail and really not going forward. You run around in circles trying to get what the last song already did.
Yeah.
In short, I don't know, and I don't want to know.
So your latest album, Any
Yep.
Less Anymore, what was the inspiration and creative process behind that album?
Firstly, the song. It started with the songwriting, and I realised that the theme that was coming through naturally was a little bit of a coming of age record about sort of really holding yourself to the best you can be in any role, as an artist, as a neighbour, as a son, as a father, husband, and just as a community man. So I think a lot of that sort of stuff came through in songs like Raise Me and Getting Old, and there were a lot of moments on this record. The track You Think It Will was one of my favourites on this album, and all of those are kind of like reflective songs and thinking songs. But on the same token, you flip that coin over, and there's things like Running the Country, Looking for a Good Time, and they're absolute redneck stuff. Just about, it's Friday, psh, let's go. It's kind of weird that I'm at that point in my life where that mesh is happening, where there's some growing up, but there's still some let me off the leash happening.
Yeah.
That album really reflected that pretty well, and really, really proud with how some of the songs have found their audience. Even the songs that we never meant to be singles or to make that much of a fuss over. And an example of that is our current single, Chill.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up, how it's kind of like such a flip side to the more mature tracks.
Yeah.
The name says it itself, like it's chill. Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever put out a 5th single off an album. Maybe I should check that, but I don't think I've ever done it. And Chill was kind of one of these unsuspecting songs that was floating around. We recorded it. I love it. If it's on the album, I love it.
Yeah.
But come to radio talk and release and making music videos and things like that, it just never popped its head up as, pick me. And we started going on tour and playing it, and then people were just like, that's the song of your album.
The song, yeah.
And which sometimes you're just so close to your work that you don't know. And then we started playing it, and people were just like responding to it in such a fun way.
Yeah.
And it was right at the tour was finishing. We'd had our 4 singles out, and we went, what do we do now? It's coming on summer.
Yeah.
We've got this song called Chill about just sitting at the beach and drinking, and so we put it out, and it's been going great. And it's one of the ones that they definitely respond to live.
Yeah, no, well, I saw you perform it last night, Stylemaker, which must have been so surreal after 20 years of you winning it. Yeah. So where
I was
else?
I was glad I wasn't competing. I was glad I wasn't contestant
You could
number
actually just
7,
go and
Travis
enjoy it.
Collins,
Yeah.
because I don't think I would have won. That's for sure.
It was a good lineup last night.
was
for
really
sure.
good.
That's for sure. But where else can we see you perform?
Well, this Friday night at Trek, which is the Tamworth Regional Entertainment Centre. I am playing the biggest show that I've ever brought to Tamworth. Well, the biggest show that I've ever brought anywhere.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of been in my head for like a lot of years.
Okay.
Just waiting on me to have the confidence to take on a venue this big.
Yeah.
Waiting on me to have the ducks lined up.
Okay.
So we've put a lot into this show. It's the set list is great. The band is absolutely on fire after a busy year last year. We've really tightened all the screws up, and we've got some space to really to try some stuff that we've always thought would be bucket list things. So I don't want to say too much because
No. Well, they've got to go see it.
I think
right?
the big part of what's going to make it hopefully impressive is the things that are going to surprise people. So really, really excited. I just can't wait to be turned out in that venue and unleash.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. It's huge there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Can we expect any special guests? Anything like that?
Probably.
Without saying too much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's Tamworth Festival. There's always going to be a special guest.
Yeah. True. True.
So, yeah.
We're all here. So.
Yeah, that's right. Everyone's here. We're all catching up. But I mean, the few that are definitely I can name are the 3 artists that are opening for me. Hurricane Fall are absolute hellraisers. They're gonna set a tone that we can't go back on. Sarah Berkey is a new artist who opened up my tour last year. She came out and played some 20 shows with us, and she's fantastic. She's really building a fan base. Had a great show here this week. And Lane Pittman, who's a local boy, of course, he had an absolute killer sold out show of his own just the other night, and so they're gonna do great, and they've been brought on for a specific purpose to sort of set the bar here.
I was going to say, what a way to set the tone.
Yeah, and then we're going to come on and try and take it up again. So it's we're really excited.
No, that's awesome. Speaking of people who are up and coming like Lane Pittman, would you have any advice for people who are just starting out, or like the performers at Starmaker last night, for example?
Look, I don't know, because I don't think there's any general advice that applies. Advice is such a thing that everybody loves to give it. It can be corny and it never ages well. I know what I would have gave. I know the advice I'd go back and give myself, and that would have been to take your time a bit more. I probably wouldn't have recorded so quickly. I would have waited a couple more years before I made an album. It's funny because it's bittersweet. You look back on your first albums and there's so much a part of your journey that you're grateful for, and none of it would have happened without those first albums. But I listen back to my first album and I don't know who that guy is, because he really didn't have any of his own stories, and he didn't really have any of his own identity figured out yet. So I would say that's probably the advice I'd give myself. Whether I'd give it to other people it's specific to who that person is. But take your time. Take your time.
Yeah, true. You say that though, but it's been a good 20 years. And
absolutely.
Down, so
now there's so much to write about. There's so much water in the well of life that I feel like when it comes to cutting an album now, I leave more songs on the cutting room floor than I do on the album. Whereas I think back to that first album, and I may have written 4 songs. None of them were particularly amazing. And then we're just looking for songs from other writers or covers and things like that.
Okay.
I think, once you really figure out who you are and you know how to say it, you just might find some other people that have got the same stuff going on.
Yeah, no, cool. All right, well, I have possibly the most important question that I'm going to ask you.
She's reaching for something.
I am. Okay. Pretend I'm a toilet roll holder,
okay,
which is a sentence I never thought I'd say. Would you hang it like this, like a comb over, or like this, like a mullet?
This is a weekly argument in my house.
Is it actually?
Oh yeah.
Because for me, there's a very clear, correct answer.
Yeah. And if you do it one way, you're a monster. Apparently, yeah.
Which
Beard's
is
not
right
mullet.
way.
Beard's not mullets.
True. Beard. That is a better way of putting it. We've been calling it comb over.
Beards.
Yeah.
Beards, not mullets. I actually don't care. I don't have a preference. As long as there's toilet paper on the roll, it's a win.
True. That is a win for sure.
But if I hang it mullets way, I'm a monster.
I agree with that, to be fair.
I don't know how it makes me a monster.
Would you sign it for us?
Sure. This is the first time I've signed it.
I was going to say, have you signed a toilet roll before?
No.
What is the weirdest thing you've signed?
A baby.
You've signed a baby?
Yeah, I've signed a baby.
How was that?
It was very Talladega Nights. It's just like, I felt like Will Ferrell.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Yeah, but somebody came up to me once and asked me to sign their baby, and it was like a marker. And I wasn't a dad yet, because now I would just say, get out of the line, you idiot. But it was just like, I was just like, you want me to sign this baby? And they're like, yeah, just on its arm there. And I was just like, this is weird. And they're like, oh, please do it. We're such big fans. And I did like I didn't even press that much. I didn't want that much ink to go. I just was like, squiggle, squiggle, thank you. As I walked off, I looked at the rest of my band. I was just like, that just happened.
Should I have done that?
I don't know. But now I would just be like, no way. No, I'm not putting that on any. I would not want it on mine.
Yeah.
So, this is first.
Yeah, it's a choice, yeah.
Yeah,
We've got to keep it unique,
Beards, not mullets.
Yeah. Words to live by.
That's a marriage saver right there, folks.
Yeah. Don't do it that way.
The other way, if that's the front, that's Divorce Town.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Travis Collins, everyone. See him tonight. No, not tonight. This Friday night.
Friday night.
At the Trek.